All right, Solana. There was a huge hack, I guess. I mean, it feels weird saying, again, I have security background, all this stuff. It feels weird saying Solana hacked because it wasn't Solana didn't get hacked. It was people got hacked, wallets drained
Mhm.
who were using Solana or products or something like that. So it's not like the
Yeah,
Solana network was hacked,
it's
but
not.
yeah, go ahead.
It's my understanding. They're still trying to figure it out, but it appears that wallets are being drained, and it's specific to wallets. One of them being the Phantom wallet, which is like the premier wallet that was like pitched as the next generation Solana wallet that's gonna allow you to do all sorts of stuff and have built-in functions so you can bridge in from other chains. And like they really the developers of the Phantom wallet like pitched it as being way better than MetaMask. And now all those wallets are being drained. So what does that mean, right? Does that mean that the seed phrases were generated off of a list instead of randomly? I don't know. Maybe it means that the seed phrases were not encrypted on the device. And a dev from the wallet team maybe was able to communicate back with all the wallets and grab that file because it wasn't encrypted. So now he has all these. I don't know. Nobody knows. But there's something wrong with those wallets that's causing all of them to get drained.
Well, I think the article that I read earlier, it was almost worse than that. There was a unencrypted file on the server side of the Slope wallet, of which Phantom is based on, right? That had, in plain language, right, unencrypted seed phrases from their users. So for whatever reason, why did it exist on their server at all is the question. Why was it unencrypted? That it's really interesting that our developer internally within Power City is always, speaking to, especially when we were working on our Transformer Bridge, about security, and how blockchain developers need to be acting like they are individual nation states worried about other nation states invading your crypto territory, and taking that mentality of security into what they're programming and building, right? This is a silly mistake, hopefully a mistake, right? It could have been nefarious code. We don't know. Hopefully a mistake, an oversight by a team that should have been thinking through all of the angles of how to always protect their users' assets, right? That wallet, there's a lot of assumptions that go into that wallet will be secure, and it's its only purpose in life is to secure your assets. So, having an oversight like this, whether it was leftovers from, beta testing, that code that never got removed, it was supposed to be removed. Who knows? I mean, there's a million things that could have gotten them there. The fact is it happened, and it's a major oops moment, right? And not a good time for Solana after it's had so many network outages over the past year and proven that it's still in beta itself, right?
It really makes you. It's really going to make you question wallets in the future. Like, how is the seed phrase generated? Where does it go? Is it only stored locally? If I cut off all access to the internet and I generate a seed phrase right here on this mobile device, and like, can it actually generate one unless I'm connected to the internet? I mean, if it's untested, first off, you should be using hardware wallets. But if it's something that's very young or you don't know how it works, ask questions. Ask questions even in our own community, right? No FUD. But if we need to know, go ask Steph, hey, are we secure with Staker app? I know you can generate a seed phrase in with Staker app. It gives you a seed phrase. How is that made? Where does it go? Do you have a server? Do you have a file? Ask these hard questions amongst our own community even, right? But you should absolutely be using a hardware wallet where your seed phrase never touches the internet, and every single transaction must be approved by you pulling this little thing out, plugging it into your computer, clicking the confirm button, Okay, because then nobody can get your stuff. And then take it a step further, use these hidden passphrases and secret wallets that I keep harping on. I've been talking about this for months and months and months. Those who use a hardware wallet with hidden passphrases are the most protected from this sort of thing, right there next to using multi-sig in the correct fashion.
It is infinitely harder to get hacked if you have to physically press a button to confirm a transaction. Like, so much harder than just YOLO. MetaMask is there. Maybe you have a good passphrase, maybe you don't. You get malware on your computer. Computer can run anything. It's much, much easier to run malware on a computer, a general purpose computer, than it is this hardware wallet. So yeah, hardware wallets are definitely a savior for a lot of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say this morning too, when I was first started reading about it, I was on Jim Rat's show talking about supply chain attacks too. The first article I read, it was from, I believe, one of the Solana co-founders suspected it could be a supply chain thing. And Jess, you were talking about how the seed phrase were generated, where, was it maybe something going on with that? That's what I kind of suspected too, until we got new information here from vacation. But that just for everyone who don't know, I just want to go over supply chain attacks real quick. So hardware and software, they're made somewhere, they're produced somewhere, either by developers with software, obviously, or if you're making products in a factory, hardware stuff, they're coming from some kind of supply chain. And if the process itself isn't secure, or someone, there's malicious people there that are tampering with things, and that's why when you get a hardware wallet, for example, they use tamper-resistant tape. You want to buy it from someone who, you try not to buy off Amazon, try to buy it directly from the manufacturer and all these other things. And hopefully no one's backdoored it, blah, blah, blah. So supply chain attacks are when somebody does do that. They get through the security, they get through the checks, they get through whatever. And then if it's code, for example, in software development, all this software, MetaMask, all these other things, they're written using open source libraries or closed source libraries too. But a lot of it comes from GitHub. It comes from just, people who are in organizations writing reusable code. Nobody writes every single thing from scratch. That makes no sense when there's already people who've solved the problem 10 times more efficiently that you can use for free. But the problem is you need to now trust whoever's library that you're using. And how do you trust them? How do you make sure that their developers haven't got hacked and things like that? And that's also where 2FA comes in, as far as not the hardware wallets is physically something you have that you have to press a button for. You can also sign commits. You can sign Git commits. You can use a YubiKey and other things like that to make sure that the code that this developer is pushing through, he is pushing it through himself, and he's not hacked and making commits. And you have a +1 process, you have team sign-offs, you have different levels of pushing code through different branches, all this different development stuff. But it is supply chain attacks, or when all your security fails, or maybe you're not paying much attention to new code coming through. You just want to ship the product really fast. But something in the process of before you get it, software, before you download it, before you buy it or use it or whatever, it is already compromised. That's a supply chain attack. And that's what was speculated about earlier, but which may or may not be the case here. But it sounds like maybe it was just an unencrypted seed words that on a server that got hacked, that type of thing, which is also no. Data at rest should be encrypted, only accessed when you need it. Should be multiple layers of authentication, stuff like that. So it could be, especially in a system that's supposed to be super secure, making that kind of mistake. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. Let's hope they learn and can fix it and not be catastrophic for the end users, as it seems to be for those wallets right now.